What's going on, my soul family? Welcome to another episode of the Awake with Jake show. On today's episode, I'm going to be answering a question that I received from one of my followers. Now, I believe and feel wholeheartedly that this question will serve many men and women. So let's dig right in. Hi, Jake. I am currently struggling within my 4-year relationship, and I'm hoping you can help. My boyfriend and I have been going through a lot of bickering lately, and when I try to talk to him about how I'm feeling, he says that I don't love him because I don't always want to have sex with him. The issue is that I don't feel that attraction because he seems to not put any effort in, except for when he wants to have sex with me. I want him to be loving and kind and affectionate. I can't just turn it on randomly when he's ready. I want to have sex with him, but I feel like I'm being ignored. I tried to tell him this, but he doesn't seem to understand and thinks I am the problem. What can I do? Well, first of all, I'm proud of you for reaching out and asking for guidance, because that's always the first step is looking for the answer, right? Seeking the answer, seeking help, seeking guidance, which is a hard thing to do because our ego blocks us from asking for help, right? Now let's talk a little bit about sex. Let's talk about this thing that consumes many people's thoughts and minds, especially men. For men, we have a very strong sexual impulse, a very strong sexual desire. And that's why so many things like porn addiction and sex addiction have popped up in our society because popped up, get it? No pun intended. In our society because of the strong sexual impulses that men have. Now, this doesn't excuse a man acting like a dog. This doesn't excuse a man going up to another woman and trying to hump her, okay? That doesn't excuse that, because men have to become more conscious of their penis and stop allowing the lower root chakra, the lower sacral chakra, to control their whole being, their whole human experience. Okay? Because you can actually start moving that energy up through breathing, through conscious intentions to bring the energy up. Now we're going to talk more about this. So number one, it doesn't excuse your animalistic behaviors as a man. Now, this is coming from someone that struggled a lot with porn addiction, that struggled a lot with sexual impulses and not being able to control that. But through many years of meditation and breath work and other practices, I have been able to gain control over that. And you can too. Now, being in a relationship with a woman who's connected to her feminine heart, and the man's in his masculine, this is the examples that we're going to give, you have to first understand that the feminine energy is more connected to the feeling of emotion, the feeling of love, the feeling of this sacred connection of just energy, all right? Now, the man in his masculine is going all day long in his mind, am I winning or am I losing? Am I winning or am I losing? Am I winning or am I losing? Now, the feminine is going, am I feeling love? Am I not feeling love? Am I feeling love? Am I not feeling love? It kind of oscillates back and forth between the two. So for a man to connect with a woman at a deeper level, he has to allow her to feel safe, to feel seen, to feel heard, to feel connected to love, to his love. So his heart has to be open. If your boyfriend's heart, in this case, is not open and is closed, you cannot force a heart to be open. You have to first understand that. Now, the next thing I want to go into, because there's so many different angles I could take this at, is what is this mirroring back to you? What is this situation mirroring back to you? You said that you wanted him to be affectionate and loving to you, but are you being that to yourself? Or are you your own biggest critic? Are you judgmental and hard on yourself? And if you are, then why are you? Because a lot of times, I believe all the time, the universe is just mirroring back to us externally what we feel internally. So that's where we get to ask ourselves at a deeper level, what is this mirroring back to me? And how can I begin healing this? Now, once you've cleared that in yourself and you're still in this relationship, which if you are at this point, then the next thing is, what can I do? You said. When you talk to a man who is just shutting down or all in his head, You get him more in his head. You get him more in his mind. Men's problem is that they live too much in their logical mind and they hide out in their mind because they fear their hearts. So energetically, you have to help him get into his body, all right? Whether that's through sensational touch, whether that's through dance and movement and just being playful. Talking to him is only going to make it worse because you're getting him into his head more. Men spend too much time in their minds and not enough time in their heart. So helping him get out of his head into his heart, first thing. The next thing is you have to be willing to speak your truth and set boundaries with him. If he is not coming to you with an open heart, fully conscious, then why are you giving him your body? You shouldn't just give any man your body at all that is not conscious and coming into the relationship or the sexual experience with a heart wide open and good intentions. Now, I hear and see from a lot of the women that I work with that they really struggle with this because they feel like they're an object. They become an object in the relationship. But the question is, are you communicating that clearly to him? Are you telling him that you will not settle for less than being treated like a goddess? That you will not settle for less than his open, wide heart to love? That you will not settle for less than his full presence and full consciousness? That is what the feminine is there to do, is to challenge the masculine to become conscious, to be fully conscious in every single present moment, right? Through the feminine's dancing and the wavering, the masculine becomes more still and more present. It can just look right into the heart and be fully present. Now, if you've never experienced this before, a conscious man, I'm telling you that they do exist, right? They are rising. They are working through their animalistic behaviors, their sexual impulses to pounce on another woman like a dog and see her as an object. We are working through that right now. So it's going to take a little bit of patience for this divine masculine to rise, right? It is rising. I can assure you that. The next thing is, and the last thing, which is the hard truth, is he may not be ready to become conscious. He may not be willing and ready to be conscious with you in this relationship. He may only want to stay at the level of ego consciousness, where it's all about his personal desires not being met. You're not having sex with me. I don't feel like you love me. I, me. Never concerned with how you feel. So that's where you get to ask yourself, am I settling for a relationship that doesn't serve my highest good? Am I willing to settle for a man who's not willing to grow and evolve himself and just views me as an object of his personal desires? Not all men are ready to become conscious. Not all men are ready to do the work. But you have to be willing and ready to let go of what doesn't serve your highest good. Because if this relationship is not serving your highest good, then you have to ask yourself, am I just settling? Am I staying in this relationship because of fear? The fear of being lonely? The fear of not ever finding love again? You can't stay in a relationship because of your fears, and you have to know what you deserve. So I'm curious to know if you've experienced this in your relationship before. Leave a comment down below, and I would love to hear your thoughts and feedback. Now, as always, stay open, stay loving, and stay connected to that beautiful source within you.